At some point in every man's life, you're going to have to make a decision. You're either going to choose your desires in life, or you're going to choose your girlfriend or your wife's desires in life. For those of you that are still in that girlfriend stage or partner stage, whatever the case may be, you guys especially have a big decision to make. But first, let's get one thing clear. I think that the majority of men are completely fine just having a long-term girlfriend or a stay-in girlfriend without ever having to get married or anything like that, right? That's a female thing. The majority of guys, I am I am very confident. Now, I'm not going to say it's every guy, but I'm very confident that the majority of guys are completely fine without the whole marriage ceremony, the big celebration and all that type of stuff. That's a woman thing, Women are the ones who want that big dress, family, friends, everybody paying all the attention to her. Guys don't really care about that. Now, don't get me wrong. There probably are some guys that care about that. Maybe they like that type of stuff. All right, fair. But that's by far a female a female desire to be able to have that dream wedding. It's all they ever talk about. Now, what do I mean by you having to make a decision? What I mean by that is one day, if you have a long-term girlfriend, she's gonna hit you with the, so what are we doing, or where is this going? Some type of question along those lines. And that's what most guys are not prepared for. You think everything's all, everything's fine, everything's gonna be, like you're fine, you're perfectly content, but see, in the female mind, it doesn't work that way. They want progression. They want constant progression, constant, getting something out of whatever relationship you guys are in. So at the end of the day, she's gonna ask you this question. Mark my words. Every man, if you're in a long-term relationship with your girl, she is gonna ask you this question in some way, shape, or form. And the decision that you have to make as a man is, are you going to give her what she wants, or are you gonna stay firm in what you want? Now, as a man, you should always be working on your purpose. You should always be looking for another mountain to conquer. You should always be looking for another dragon to slay. The problem with that is all that time in conquering that mountain or slaying that next dragon, you can only put that time into one thing. You see where I'm going with this? And so that's where you got to make a decision. And we know how women are. They always want your time, they want your attention, they want this type of stuff. But on the other hand, one hand, you got your girl, giving her your attention, your time, all that type of stuff. But then on the other hand, you got your purpose, you got your dragons to slay. You got things that you want to accomplish as a man. You have things that you want to do, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, your ambitions. But you can't do both. That's the dilemma right there. You can't do both. Now, I know very few men, very very few men who are able to to do this, who are able to juggle their girl, give her enough attention, and stay on their purpose at the same time. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say what goes on behind closed doors, but your guess is as good as mine. And those men are few and far in between. And these are the men that either these girls, they knew from the jump. Like, they knew from the jump that, okay, this guy's a hard worker. He's gonna be busy. He's probably not gonna have time for me. Or these guys from the jump told the girls that they're with, hey, look, I'm already on a mission. You can come into my mission, you can come into my domain, my kingdom, but I will never put you first. And I won't even lie, I made that mistake. I made that mistake a few years ago. My last girl, I picked her over my purpose, and it set me back. It set me back so many so much time. And I always think to myself, like, if I would have picked the projects and the certifications in the school that I was working on when I had met her, and I decided to just choose that instead of her, I would be so far ahead now. Like, hindsight is always 2020. It's like, if I knew then what I know now, I'd be so far ahead, you know? And the thing of it is, most guys really are not prepared for that. Most guys, they're going to be hit with this question. They're going to be blindsided. It's going to be a blindsided question because she's going to ask you, okay, so where is this going? What are we doing? Uh, you want to, we need to take this up to the next level. And most guys, they don't know how to prepare for that. Most guys fold. Most guys fold, and they, they give the girl what they want, and they forget about their ambitions, they forget about their dreams, goals, and aspirations. And guess what? That's the man that, and once you turn into that moldable man that does everything she wants on a whim, that's when she starts losing attraction to you. That's when she starts, not wanting to talk to you anymore, or not wanting to be all lovey-dovey to you anymore. you know I'm telling you, this is the game, man. This is the game. This is what happens. Now, obviously, I'm not the first person to say this type of stuff, but I think that more men need to realize this before, you get crash outs. You get dudes who crash out and just go crazy because, oh, they call their girl with another dude because, he's more ambitious. Blah. Like we as men know, man. We know women are a trip, man. Like we know these girls, man. They they want one thing one day, and the next day they want something else. And so, you as a man, and that this goes back to my other video, you as a man, you got to be a jack of all trades. You've got to be able to figure out, you know you've got to be able to understand, like, there is nobody like me. What did Kanye say? I forgot what song, what song was he did he say? He's like, yo, oh yeah, you'll never find nobody better than me. I forgot what that song was called, but I know, like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And so basically, you as a man, you gotta pick. You're gonna be faced with difficult choices in life, man. But this one, I think most men are not prepared for. Most men are not prepared for these types of, this type of question, this this scenario when it comes to them. And then they're gonna pick the girl. They're gonna forget about their dreams, goals, and aspirations. And then eventually, over time, you're gonna get lazy. You're not gonna go to the gym. You're not gonna have a purpose anymore. You're not gonna chase that hunger. You're not gonna have that hunger to conquer, to slay that next dragon. You're not gonna have that desire to climb the next mountain. And then it's over. Then it's over. And then after that, if you're dumb enough to get married, once you realize that, let me not say marriage is completely dumb, but if you're dumb enough to get married, then you get Bezoed, you get Dr. Dre'd, and then you got to start over. Now, this is not a video bashing marriage. This is not a video bashing anything or anybody. This is a video to let men know, eventually you're going to be faced with a decision, unless you establish ground rules from the very jump, which I advise all men to do. If you encounter a girl, if you're going to be with a girl, and like, you see, there's potential here, and you guys have like some type of chemistry, this could be a long-term thing. You need to establish something from the very beginning. You got to let her know, like, hey, look, I really like you. I really want to, see where this goes, but I need you to understand I'm a busy man. I got things I got to take care of. I'm on a mission. I'm on a purpose in life. And I would really be grateful for you to support it, but you got to let me know now if this is going to be too much for you. I'm not going to be able to give you the attention that you want or desire because I got a lot of things I need to take care of. But if you stick with me, I'll always make sure you're straight. And if you go about it like that, then you'll be able to filter out and not waste your time. You'll be able to you'll be able to stop wasting time. You'll be able to get to where you want to get to in life, and you won't, you won't be messed up. Like you won't be so traumatized by, this girl. Oh man, she did me dirty, blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, you as a man, your primary goal shouldn't even be women, man. Like, your primary goal should always be your purpose. At the end of the day, every man's primary focus in life should be his legacy, his purpose. Why he gets up in the morning should not be about women. Should not be about, oh yeah, let me, like dating apps, or cold approach, and going to the club, and approaching, talking to every drunk girl that'll give you the time of day, and thinking that you're gonna get lucky, when most of these girls, like, they just you know what I mean. I laugh, man. I laugh. Like, I don't really go out anymore, but when I do from time to time, and I laugh at these dudes who it's sad. It's sad because they don't know any better. And at the end of the day, like, I just want to help dudes out. I just want to really help dudes out, and get some messages out there. But you're going to be faced with a decision. Are you going to, are you what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose what you want? And this goes, honestly, this kind of goes beyond women. It can go anybody. Are you going to choose what you want in life, or are you going to choose what other people want? What your woman wants. Pick yourself. Focus on yourself. Don't don't deviate from your path. You have a mission. You picked that mission for a reason. Find yourself, know yourself. That's what men need to do. Is you need to know yourself. Stop focusing on women. Stop, you know, stop making her purpose or her mission your mission. Have her come into your purpose, your circle, your life. That's how you get the ultimate love, respect, admiration, and loyalty and desire from a woman, for respect from your peers. Just make sure you pick right, and always remember that at the end of the day, the choices that we make in life are what put us in that position in the first place. Just pick wisely.